Welcome to EPG Pathshala program. Myself Meenal Katarnikar, Associate Professor from the Department of Philosophy, University of Mumbai. In this session, we are going to discuss the Jaina theory of Naya and Naya Bhasa. As we have discussed in other module, Anekantavada of Jainism has given rise to two important theories, Syadvada and Nayavada. Syadvada is the extension of Anekantavada into logic, while Nayavada is the extension of Anekantavada in the field of language. So, in this module, we are going to discuss the theory of Nayas, which primarily is based on the principle of ahimsa in the rational context. At the same time, we have to see the relation between pramanas and nayas, because nayas are supposed to give us knowledge, while pramanas are also regarded as the sources of knowledge. So, let us begin with the relation between pramanas and the nayas. This relation can be understood in at least two ways. There are many pramanas from perception to verbal testimony. Among these pramanas, Shruta Pramana or verbal testimony is related to the concept of Naya. So, there is a relation between one pramana and the Nayas. At the same time, Naya is a part of pramana, technically Pramanamsha. Now, how is it a part of pramana? That we are going to discuss ahead. But there is a relation between pramana and naya in this limited sense. Again, in other module, we have discussed the concept of pramanas in details. But the concept of pramana, which is operative in our present discussion, is different from the ordinary concept of pramanas. In the ordinary concept of pramanas, it is interpreted as the epistemological concept, as true cognition or an instrument of true cognition. At that level, it is contrasted with that of false cognition or erroneous cognition. But in the present context, or what Jainas mean by pramana, is not simply true cognition, but a comprehensive cognition or a holistic cognition. In this context, it is contrasted with naya, which means partial cognition. So, it can be rightly said that naya is neither a pramana nor a pramana, but a pramanamsha, that is a part of pramana. Let us see some definitions of naya which are given by the Jaina logicians. In the Prameya Kamala Martanda, Prabhachandra defines naya as the intention of the knower which cognizes a part of the reality without negating the contrary viewpoint. So, there are three aspects of naya. It is the intention of the knower, it cognizes the part of reality, and it does not negate the contrary viewpoint. These three features of naya are again reiterated by Yashovijaya in Jaina Tarka Bhasha. He defines nayas as the specific determinate cognitions which grasp a single aspect of the reality without denying other aspects, the reality consisting of infinite characteristics which is known through pramana, that is holistic knowledge. So, these definitions bring to us some main features of the nayas, where naya is contrasted with the pramana and naya having three features. Being partial knowledge, naya represents a particular standpoint or a particular perspective through which one understands an object. While doing so, it does not deny that there are other aspects or there are other standpoints, nor does it recognize other standpoints. It is said to be indifferent about the other standpoints. In one sense, it is the extension of non-violence at the rational level, because if we are non-violent at the rational level, it is obvious not to reject or not to decline the other standpoints. So in this sense, Naya carries forward the spirit of Anekantavad at the rational level. There are three ways of approaching the reality. First way is the way of Pramana, where it is a holistic and non-absolutistic approach in which one expresses a standpoint while acknowledging the existence of other standpoints. Second approach is the approach of Naya, where one expresses a standpoint without denying other standpoints, but by being indifferent to the other standpoints. This is the approach of Naya. And third, where one has an absolutistic approach in which one expresses a standpoint as if it is the only correct standpoint and others are wrong. This is known to be Durnaya or Nayabhasa. In this module, we are going to discuss both Naya and the Nayabhasa. To understand the Nayas, let us see how Nayas are traditionally classified by the Jaina texts. Being a part of Shruta Pramana, Naya is regarded as a way of knowing as well as a way of describing. But how can the way of describing be classified? Because as it is said correctly, there may be number of ways of classifying as there would be number of ways as describing. So there can be as many Nayas as there are people. However, in the Jaina tradition, reality is cognized from at least two perspectives, a perspective of a Dravya and perspective of a Paryaya. One can look at reality from a very general perspective, or one can look at reality from a very specific perspective. Accordingly, Nayas are classified as Dravya Naya and Paryaya Naya, or Dravyarthika Naya and the Paryayarthika Naya. Amongst these, Dravya Nayas are those which focus on the enduring characteristics of the objects, while Paryaya Nayas are those which focus on the changing characteristics of the objects. The reality, according to the Jainas, is the synthesis of many binaries, one and many, identity and difference, particular and universal, permanence and impermanence, and so on. Out of the two poles of a binary, a Naya focuses on one of the two poles and neglects the other. There are other classifications of Nayas also. One of them is Artha Naya and Shabda Naya. Artha Naya is about the thing's own characteristics. Shabda Naya is about the characteristics caused by the association of the thing with language. Through the broad category of Shabda Naya, Jainas indicate the fact that many a time our understanding of things is colored by the linguistic categories imposed on them. Even though this classification is important, the most popular classification that is found is the previous one, which is Dravyarthika Naya and the Paryayarthika Naya. There is one more classification available in the Jaina tradition, which is Nishchay Naya and Vyavahara Naya, decisive viewpoint and conventional viewpoint respectively. This classification is mentioned in Vyakhya Prajnapti Sutra of the Jaina tradition. In later times, Digambar Acharya Kunda used this classification in his theorization at a large scale. This classification is comparable to the Buddhist classification of the truths between Paramarthika Satya and Lokasamrutti Satya. It is also comparable to the Vedanta classification between Paramarthika Satta and Vyavaharika Satta. However, there is a problem raised about this classification and the problem is raised whether to call them as Nayas in the conventional sense, because the Dravyarthika Paryayarthika or Arthanaya Shabdanaya classification regard all the Nayas on equal par, while Nishchay Naya and Vyavahara Naya are not horizontal Nayas but they are vertical Nayas. That is, there is hierarchical relation between the Nishchay Naya and Vyavahara Naya. So they are not equivalent perspectives and therefore they are not really the part of Naya theory that we are discussing here now. The two classifications of Nayas give us total 7 Nayas. So there are 3 Dravya Nayas and 4 Paryaya Nayas, or there are 3 Artha Nayas and 4 Shabda Nayas. In different texts we find different type of numbers of Nayas accepted, but overall 7 Nayas are delineated in the Jaina tradition. Anuyoga Davar Sutra mentions 7 Nayas, namely Naigama Naya, Sangraha Naya, Vyavahara Naya, Rujusutra Naya, Shabda Naya, Samabhirudha Naya and Evam Bhuta Naya. In the Shvetambar version of Tattvartha Sutra, first of 5 mentioned above are enumerated, but Shabda Naya is subdivided into 3 kinds: Shabda, Samabhirudha and Evam Bhuta Naya. So in all the number of Nayas is coming to 7. So popularly Jaina theory talks about 7 Nayas. Now there are some variations, no doubt. Siddhasen Divakara in his Sanmati Tarka talks about 6 Nayas. He experimented reducing the Naigama Naya into 2 kinds, universalistic and particularistic. Out of them, universalistic was accommodated in Sangraha Naya and particularistic was accommodated to Vyavahara Naya. But this experimentation was not carried forward by the later thinkers ahead. Similarly, Mallavadi Kshama tried to give 12-fold classification of Nayas on the basis of wheel of 12 Nayas, and he explained this in terms of the 2-fold classification Dravya and Paryaya, and also the 7-fold classification. But these are some exceptional classifications, and popular theory of Jaina Nayas is restricting the number of Nayas to 7. So let us discuss those 7 Nayas one by one. First we are discussing Naigama Naya, which is known to be goal-oriented viewpoint or pluralistic viewpoint. The term Naigama is interpreted mainly in 2 ways. Naigama is derived from Nigama, which means aim or goal. When one is performing an action with some aim or goal, the action can be described as actualization of that goal. When students are preparing for the examination, at that particular time someone is reading a book. But if you ask the student, what are you doing? The answer will be, I am preparing for the examination. So the goal of the act is mentioned rather than the act, and this is what is meant by Naigama Naya. Sometimes Naigama Naya is described as the marketplace attitude or the pluralistic viewpoint. Accordingly, Naigama means considering a thing in plural or diverse ways. Naigama involves focusing on different general and specific characteristics of things by treating one of the characteristics as main and others as subordinate at a particular point. So, Naigama Naya sometimes gave us a generalistic description, sometimes it gave us specific description, and therefore it is also described to be a pluralistic perspective. Second Naya is Sangraha Naya, which is known as the collective viewpoint. When we describe something in terms of its general characteristics shared by other things, we are having a collective viewpoint called Sangrahanaya. It is known to be of two types, Parasangraha and Aparasangraha. Parasangraha is comprehensively collective viewpoint. According to it, all the things in the world share a common characteristic, namely that they are real or that they are existent. So, describing the things as Sat would be Parasangraha. In the second type of Sangraha, which is Aparasangraha, it is non-comprehensively collective viewpoint. According to it, things are described in terms of lower universals such as substanceness and qualityness, etc. To give the example, classifying all the things in the world in either conscious or non-conscious categories would be describing them from the perspective of Sangraha. Let us see the third Naya, which is Vyavaharanaya. Vyavaharanaya means a particularistic or differential viewpoint. The viewpoint which emphasizes particularity and diversity is Vyavaharanaya. It cognizes things as having many kinds. Fourth is Rujusutranaya, that is immediate viewpoint. It ignores enduring or substantial aspect of a thing and focuses on its immediate present mode. Under this Naya, we may describe an object by using the expressions as this red or here now yellow or here is now the feeling of pleasure, etc. So, this is pointing to only the present moment without taking into account the past or the future moments in the lifespan of the object. Fifth Naya is Shabdanaya, which is a syntactical viewpoint. It focuses on the influence of the grammatical form of words such as on the meaning of the description. Tense, case endings, gender, number and suffixes, etc. Shabdanaya is rather focusing on multiple meanings of the same word. Sixth Naya is Samabhirudhanaya, which is etymological viewpoint. It emphasizes that the meaning or the shade of the meaning of a word changes according to the etymology of the word. For instance, the connotations of the three Sanskrit synonyms Indra, Shakra and Purandara change according to their etymologies. So, here it is mainly on the synonyms, while previous was having one word having multiple meanings. Lastly, we have Evam Bhutanaya, which is the functionalist viewpoint. Evam Bhuta literally means that which exists in this way. According to this viewpoint, a word is applied to a thing when the thing is performing the function indicated by the word. To give the example, a teacher will be called as teacher only when the teacher is performing the act of teaching and not otherwise. After the enumeration of these 7 Nayas, let us see what is the doctrine of Durnaya or Naya Bhasa. Since different philosophical systems understand and describe reality in different ways, different Nayas can be correlated to different philosophical systems. The doctrine of Naya in this way is a meta-philosophical doctrine. Siddhasen Suri compared Indian philosophical systems with the Nayas. Akalanka Bhatta also described those systems as the cases of Naya Bhasas or Durnayas. So, it would be interesting to see what is meant by Naya Bhasa or Durnaya. The idea was that though different systems of philosophy understand and describe reality from a partial viewpoint, they regard their understanding and description as absolute and complete truth. As a result, their viewpoint becomes a pseudo viewpoint, that is Nayabhasa, or a defective viewpoint, Durnaya. Now, why this designation like Nayabhasa or Durnaya is hidden in the definition of a Naya? Naya is defined to be a viewpoint which does not reject the other viewpoint. It is a partial viewpoint. So, if a partial viewpoint is identified with the holistic viewpoint, it is obviously a fallacy or it is obviously a defect. And therefore, when any philosophical system asserts that its reading of the nature of reality is the absolute reading of the nature of reality, then it is a defective perspective. Instead of understanding that it is a partial perspective, it is identifying itself as the holistic perspective. Here is the list where we can identify the philosophical systems with particular Nayas. Naigama Bhasa is the fallacy committed by Nyaya Vaisheshika systems. Parasangraha Bhasa is the fallacy committed by Advaita Vedanta. Aparasangraha Bhasa is the fallacy committed by Sankhya system. Vyavahara Bhasa is committed by Charvaka system. Rujusutra Bhasa is committed by Buddhist philosophers. And Shabda Naya Bhasa, Sangraha Naya Bhasa and Evam Bhuta Naya Bhasa are the fallacies committed by the grammarians. Now, what are these Naya Bhasas? Let us see one by one. First is Naigama Bhasa. In our language, there are different words for substances, qualities, motions and relations. But Nyaya Vaisheshikas accept different categories as absolutely distinct from each other. So, to regard something as absolutely distinct when something is related, they commit the fallacy of Naigama Bhasa. Second is Sangraha Bhasa. Parasangraha Bhasa consists in understanding and describing everything as real. Advaita Vedantin says that everything is real and real alone, and all the other properties are delusory. This amounts to Parasangraha Bhasa. Sankhyas do not reduce everything to real, but they divide the world to two basic categories, Prakriti and Purusha, and describe all objects of the world as manifestations of Prakriti and commit Aparasangraha Bhasa. Vyavahara Bhasa is the fallacy committed by Charvakas. They accept only empirical reality, that is Vyavaharika Satta, but not ultimate reality, that is Paramarthika Satta. Jainas interpret this as Vyavahara Bhasa, that is pseudo empirical viewpoint, because Vyavahara Bhasa in this sense is a pseudo particularistic viewpoint, and it could be attributed to the Buddhists who accept only unique particulars as real. Rujusutra Bhasa is the fallacy committed by the Buddhists who regard only immediate momentary experiences as real and nothing else as real. So, holding that absolutistic perspective about momentarism is the fallacy of Rujusutra Bhasa. Shabdanaya Bhasa, Vyakarana school or grammarians overemphasize the role of words in determining the nature of reality by giving the word the status of Brahman. Jainas call this Shabdanaya Bhasa. Similarly, Samabhirudha Bhasa and Evam Bhuta Naya Bhasa can be treated as special cases of Shabdanaya Bhasa. Overemphasis on etymological meaning of words would amount to Samabhirudha Bhasa, and overemphasis on functionalist meaning of a word would be a case of Evam Bhuta Bhasa. But Nayabhasas should not be just treated as committed by particular schools at a particular time. There is a wider applicability of the concept of Nayabhasa. Nayabhasa as the absolutistic fallacy consists in treating what is relatively true as absolutely true, what is partial truth as complete truth, and what is contextually determined as acceptable context freely. It has wider applicability which goes beyond the domain of Indian philosophical systems. It can be applied to absolute dogmatic views held by some Western philosophers as well. Just see the cases where we can have the application of Nayabhasa. Platonism can be a case of Aparasangrahabhasa. Phenomenalism can be a case of Rujusutrabhasa. Cartesian dualism can be a case of Naigamabhasa. Nayabhasa as a non-formal fallacy is on par with naturalistic fallacy advanced by G.E. Moore or a category mistake propounded by Gilbert Ryle. So, with these applications of Nayabhasa, one can see that it is not just looking at Indian philosophical tradition with the examiner's viewpoint, but it has a wider applicability in philosophy in general. Wherever there is commitment of the partial view to the absolutistic view, there is a fallacy called Nayabhasa, and it has to be developed by the logicians on more wider scale. Doctrine of Nayas is a heart of Jainism, and the whole philosophy of Jainas really take lot of efforts to develop this doctrine, which is the application of Anekantavad. If one wants to know more about it, please refer to the write-up that is presented on the Nayas, and also refer to the canonical and philosophical literature on the doctrine of Nayas. Thank you.